Hello everybody. In today's video, I'm going to be giving you an update on how I've been using these two leather covers here. They're both from the company Lorite, and I did an unboxing for each of these leather covers on my channel, and I will link those so that you can watch them if you haven't done so before. And I thought it's a good time for me, having used each one of them on and off in the last 3.5 months or so, to show you how they've worn, how I've been using them, and what I think about them now that I've had a chance to put these to the test and use them. Let's start off with this. This is a leather folio cover from Lorite, and it uses their taro leather. This has an interesting closure, which is called their grab and go closure, and it's in the classic leather. I think it's the classic leather, I'm not 100% sure. This one is a Trifold Traveler's Notebook in the Larimar leather, and it's got this button closure with an elastic here. For both of these, by the way, I have been using them, either one is at home, and if I'm using the other one, then that would be as my everyday carry, so I bring it in my bag, my handbag, and I take it out. And so it gets mixed in with all my stuff, my keys, and all of that. I do switch in and out between them, so both have been used as my everyday carry, which has shown more wear because of that. I would say that I have at least gotten at least 2.5 to 3 months out of both of them, especially this one. I've actually been using both of this two for the entire month of April, up till now at least. So let's start off with this one. The taro leather, I still like it. It's very smooth, and it's soft, and it's quite thin and flexible. But it does show wear quite easily. Let's take this out and show you the back. See, when I first got it, it wasn't kind of have all of these dark spots here and here as well. And these two kind of darker lines here is definitely because of the strap. When I close this book or this notebook cover and pull it through like this, so that's where the dark line comes from. It follows the same shape as the closure. The back here, I don't know how I can explain it except to say that I don't baby my leathers, and so maybe my desk isn't that clean or something. I don't know. One good guess I have is because for a while, and right now, I'm using this as my gratitude journal. And I put in my gratitude journal something that I'm grateful for every day. And I always write in here, usually at night, not always. And when I'm writing in here at night, usually I would have done my skincare routine. And that means, you know, moisturizing my face, putting creams and hand creams and so on. I think this may have contributed to how the leather has kind of darkened here, because maybe the oils from all the creams that I use might have gotten onto this leather as I pick it up at nighttime. But then there is also this kind of line here that shows like a darker spot. And that may have been something to do with a notebook or something that kind of rubbed up against it and caused this line, because that doesn't really look like it was caused by my hands or anything. So I can't actually explain that either, unless, because none of my notebooks would have that kind of bumpiness on this part of the leather that would cause this to happen. So, but it does look like it's from a book or something like that. Now, in terms of the fit, still like the fit, but this was made for a slightly thicker notebook than the one that I'm currently using in it. But of course, it does fit thinner notebooks. It's just that there's a little bit more space in between all of them. And so I have no problem with using thinner notebooks in here. And of course, it opens and closes just fine. I really like that. Now, the inside pockets, they're pretty much the same as before. I didn't really make any use out of the card slots. Same here. Oh, this one doesn't have any card slots. but there's nothing much to report about the inner covers. So all I can say is that I still really like this. It has aged a little bit more than I'd like, because I don't think that the kind of darkening spots really match the original color of this leather, this taro leather. Especially this part, it kind of looks more dirty than anything, because sometimes when you have leathers which darken over time, that's to be expected, but then it looks like that it was meant to be like that, that it was part of the leather. Whereas this one, to me, even this line here, looks a little bit more out of place than I like. But that doesn't really affect the kind of performance of this leather. I still really like this cover, and I like how light it is, and so I enjoy using this cover. The Grab and Glow closure has there's no changes to it, so I'm pretty sure that, over time it's not like it's going to wear out, or this closure is not going to become loose and hard to keep closed or something like that. So that's a little update on this taro cover. Next one is the Larimar Trifold Traveler's Notebook. Oh, before I forget, I should mention that both of these are B6 sized, but they are made to be taller because the notebook that I'm using is taller than a regular B6 size. And this one is custom fit to fit this particular notebook that I wanted. This one is the B6 wide cut size, which is the standard size that they offer, but then it's in the trifold design and it has that taller height to fit the taller height of my notebook. So this one, let's talk about the leather first. It has aged as well. It has darkened over time. And it's also gotten a lot shinier over time. Here's the back. And you can see it's gotten like a dark spot here, a couple of darker things here. But this is one of those leathers, and it's one of those cases where I think that the darker kind of aging of this leather, it shows or it blends in much more nicely than it does with the taro leather. This one looks like it's just part of the leather, all of these darker marks. So I really like that. And I really like how that, as it's gotten older, and the term is patina, I believe, it's gotten shinier. And when I first got this, the leather was more matte. Maybe I'll open it. It may be hard to see on camera as well, but the pocket here, maybe I haven't been touching it that much, so the kind of finish on this is more matte. But since I've been handling the outside of this leather cover, it's gotten more shiny, I guess, as I've held it. And I really like the shininess, and I really like the feel of it. That's why actually I've been, every time I have this, I kind of want to keep on touching it, because I like how soft the feeling is. And I guess that's why it made it kind of more shiny. Now there also picks up scratches, but it's harder to see, I think, on camera. But there are lots of little scratches and some scuffs and so on. And again, I think that also adds to the kind of look of the leather, and I don't mind that at all. So I just kind of love touching this. It's great. And it's, it's been broken in, I think, if you can call it broken in, after a couple of months, but it's still got that squeaky sound to it. It still makes that squeaky sound like it's new. Not as loud as before, but it's definitely there. So, still love this. I would say that in terms of the wear, you can see that the threading has come loose a little bit. And I know that Diamond of Lorite, he has put out some videos saying that what you do is you kind of trim off the excess threading, and then you take a lighter and you kind of, I guess, burn it into place so that it won't become loose again. And I'm going to do that. I'm just too scared to do that. But this is not really an issue. It's not like the stitching has come apart, but it has become loose here. And let's show you the inside. Alright, so the inside is not really that heavily decorated, but it does come with 2 card slots, and instead of putting cards in here, I decided to put in a little kind of decoration, and it's just kind of like a piece of paper that I cut to slide into the card slots like this so that you can read what it says. But this one, it's sort of new, so it's just nice. And these inner pockets here in the front and the back are from the glossy nude leather. Same with this back pocket here, and it's held up really well. I like the glossy nude leather. I like the kind of feeling of it. It's much. This one, Glarimar leather, is a little bit softer. This one is more, I guess, glossier, the finish. And it has, I did get an ink mark on here, and it's from a stamp, so I know exactly where that is from. And then I tried to quickly wipe it away with a damp cloth because I thought that would work, and it didn't. And instead, I got a darker mark here, which shows where I tried to wipe it off. And then, of course, I heard that you can try to even it out by wiping the entire area with a darker cloth. And I did that. It dried back to almost the same original color of the glossy nude, but then now there's like another dark kind of water spot here. So it's shown its age as well. The back pocket I didn't really use. I think that there is definitely a slight darkening of the leather here as opposed to here. In the pocket, if I use this, I usually have like a sticker sheet here, so this is probably seeing the less kind of wear and sunshine there. Although I think that's a black mark from ink or something. So this one right now, I'm using it as my everyday carry. So this is my bullet journal, and it's in a little cover that I made for it. I do slide it into the back pocket like this and use it like that, but sometimes I just put it through the strings, so it just depends on my mood. In my original boxing video, I had trouble with the trifold design and the way that it opened, because I'll try and recreate what I was doing in my other video, but here it is closed, and then if you open it, you open this first kind of trifold flap here, that's what I'll call this, the flap, and then you open this side to get into the notebook. You open it and you get to the back of the notebook, which kind of is annoying because you really expect when you open a book to be able to see the front of the notebook rather than the back of the notebook. And so I was playing around in that video about turning this upside down, imagine like that, so that if this was the trifold design that opened from the other direction, if you open this and you open this, then this would be the front thing. This would be the first thing that you see. And that means that the pocket here would be upside down. And right now I'm just putting a sticker sheet on here, so that actually would still be functional for me. It doesn't fall out, but then it's upside down. So I ended up trying that for a couple of days, and I decided I don't really like having it like this. And so I got used to it in this kind of position. And the way I get around to opening up and seeing the back is that when I open it, let's say I take this and I want to open it and start using it, I hold it in both my hands, and then I open this flap, and my right hand here is still kind of holding the leather cover. So what I do is I flick my wrist. So I don't know, I make a wrist action like this. I flip it open, and now it shows like this. So it's fairly easy for me to get to the front of the notebook instead of the back. Let's try again. So here it is closed. Hold it in both my hands. I undo this, open it up, there we go. And then I open up my book. And that's how it works, and that's worked fine. So I don't really have any issue with how the book opens. Now that's only because most of the time I've only been using one book in here instead of multiple books, but that still works for me. Another thing I was thinking of, when I had it upside down like this, and the reason why I didn't like it upside down like this was because when I'm writing and I'm right-handed, I have a pen here. So I would open this up and start writing. But sometimes the pocket here would get in the way of my arm as I'm writing. Right? It's kind of like there's a nice gap here for you to rest your arm so it doesn't get too much in the way, but I did find that it was bumping up against my arm a little bit more than I'd like. And so I wasn't really a fan of having the trifold flap on the right side. Whereas if you had it the normal way or the way that it was designed, then I can write like this. And of course, there's nothing in my way to get under my hands or anything. Another thing is the closure, the button closure. So it's held up well. It's not like it's gone loose or anything, but I will say, and I'm pretty sure that I noticed this on the unboxing as well, is that this elastic here, when you open it up, this elastic kind of will fall on here like that. And so it will cause bumpiness on when you're trying to write on this side. You can see here that it kind of jiggles a little bit because the back is not even because of this. So what I do is when I open it, I have to take this and I have to kind of shift it to the spine. So it lies on top here and it goes like that. So that means the spine is not that even. And then I open my book, and then it's got a relatively smoother writing surface for me to write on. And after I've done that, it hasn't been a problem. It's just that I have to do that every single time. If this wasn't a trifold design, and let me show you the Lacao cover that I have. And Lacao and Lorite are the same companies. So this one, similar to this, has a button closure. And it also has this elastic which you use to close. But of course, because this isn't a trifold design, I guess where the elastic comes through is on the edge of the notebook. So when you open it, it just kind of sticks out of the way here, and it doesn't get into the way of your writing. Whereas the way that the elastic comes out from the trifold comes out to the middle, the spine, which is why you get that bumpiness. All in all, I really love these two Lorite covers of mine. I will say my personal favorite is this one. I just love touching it. Love touching it. And the design, you know, is good. I've kind of had to adjust to it, but I have gotten accustomed to it, so I love it. This one I also like too. It's like that. It's kind of light. It works as a folio. It does feel quite good to hold and touch and even smell, but I just happen to like this kind of stiffer vegetable tan leather a lot more than I like this. So there you have it. I hope that helps you seeing how the Lorite leather covers wear over time. If you have any other questions about these, let me know. And of course, I'll put a link down to Lorite's Etsy store and the Lacao store down below. Alright, so thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.